and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I am Sakshi Batra, and on this special edition, we're going to be discussing all about PVR Inox and what is the outlook amid the festive season and going forward as well. Joining in with me is a very, very special guest, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Bijli, the Executive Director of PVR Inox, is with us on Business Today TV. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, the festive spirit is in the air, and I want to wish you season's greetings, happy Diwali in advance as well. This is also a period when people really like to enjoy with their families, perhaps have a good time, go out to the movie theaters as well. We've seen a big trend in India of year on year, the Diwali box office hits that everybody looks forward to. Tell us what is the kind of sense that you're getting currently amid the festive season.
Yes, happy Diwali to you and all the viewers as well. I mean, Diwali season is a time traditionally when the Hindi film industry releases big films.
Yes.
And this year is no different. We've got Marvel coming out on Friday, a big Disney franchise, which is looking phenomenal. And then we have the much anticipated Salman Khan and Katrina Kaif starrer, Tiger 3, coming from one of the biggest production houses of India, YRF, which is coming on Sunday, on Diwali Day.
Wow.
So of course the atmosphere and the feelings are very optimistic and enthusiastic. We've seen the advances open up already, and they're looking very solid for Marvel. Already we've sold about 25,000 tickets on Friday.
Wow.
And for Tiger 3 for Sunday, being a Sunday, Diwali Day, plus there's a cricket match also. We've already
Yes.
sold out 3 lakh tickets. So both the films are trending well, and they're in line with the festive consumption that our industry and the country is accustomed to.
Absolutely. Mr. Bijli, also wanted to understand, you really pointed out some very important points here, which I will ask you to elaborate in our course of discussion as well. Movie theatre business which you are in currently has actually gone through a lot of ups and downs in the recent past. We had the COVID-19 period, which was the toughest period perhaps in the history that you may have seen as well. Coming back, there were also conversations that perhaps OTT will take over, PVRs and theatre businesses will completely shut down. But we did see a huge comeback, especially on August 15 when we saw a flurry of 3 movies garnering record footfalls on that day as well. How do you really make out of the trends that you've seen in the recent past after COVID-19? Are we back to the pre-COVID frenzy that we've always seen amidst the moviegoers?
I think so. I mean, of course, as you said rightly, that those 2 years of lockdown and COVID was very tough for us. And even after we opened in Q1 last year, Q1 was a blockbuster quarter for us. And all of a sudden, all of us were very enthusiastic and optimistic that our business, like all the other businesses, has bounced back.
Yeah.
Then we saw 3 very lukewarm quarters. But then Q2, owing to the August 15th holidays and the success of Jawan and Gadar, Oppenheimer, Jailer, Barbie, all films, Rocky and Rani, they really rallied very well together to bring the people back to the audiences and enhance the box office numbers. And going forward also, this quarter and quarter 4 is looking very solid. Of course, our business is very content dependent. Content on paper may look phenomenal, but may not resonate with the audiences in the long run. We're very happy that these films have done phenomenally well, and they've resonated with the audiences. So if people are coming back to the cinemas, it is obvious that both the formats are existing. OTT is also existing, and big screen cinema is also existing. It's over 100-year-old form of entertainment, and it's here to stay. And it's a community viewing, which people obviously had been missing during COVID, and they're back to enjoying that experience again.
Absolutely. In the interim, what we've also seen is that you as a company have also become very innovative this year. We did see, steps not just in the passport recently that you've launched, the PVR passport, where one can actually go ahead and enjoy 10 movies in a month as well. Tell us what have been the trends like. Have people picked on to it, handsomely? Is that rewarding you as a new innovation?
Yes, actually, we've been toying with the idea of course, introducing a movie subscription plan for a long time. And after having done a lot of research and internal discussions and external discussions, because here, of course, the production community is also involved, we finally launched the PVR Passport for 699 rupees. You can watch 10 films in a month. And we've had a phenomenal success, of course, with every experiment, with every innovation. We start small. It's a pilot project, but
Yeah.
this pilot project we've been able to sell out completely in the first couple of weeks, and we're very
Wow.
encouraged by the response that we have gotten from the consumer.
Wow. And what about the recently also innovations with regards to your F&B space as well? You know, the 99 rupees unlimited popcorns and colas. How has that gone with the consumers at large?
Again, been a huge success. As a company, I think we can't put blinkers on and do what we just feel is right. Being a consumer interface company, it's so important to understand and listen to the consumer, see what they want, and if there was any chatter around F&B prices and movie ticket prices, to some extent, we've been able to come up with such promotions that satisfy our end consumer, and that is what is most important.
Absolutely. Also, sir, help us understand, how are you really looking at the F&B business? It's slowly and gradually becoming a very, very important part of your overall revenue contribution to your books as well. And where do you see it going forward from here too, sir?
No, we're focusing heavily on it. As you said rightly, 30% of our revenues come from F&B. No movie going experience is complete without, buying your popcorn, Pepsi, and your other, essentials at the cinema. We always focusing on providing good quality food and beverage at our concession counters, variety of food and beverage at our concession counters, giving combos, best pricing, good quality. And there's so much innovation that's going on in the F&B part of the business that we're always innovating there to make sure that people get the best of choices at the best prices.
Absolutely. You know what? We've also seen some alternate content going across as well, to attract newer audiences to the theatres. You've had even concerts being playing, at the theatres as well. Of course, the screening of the World Cup matches too. How has all of that really played up in the recent past? Could you tell us if this experiment is going to be sustainable, something that you actually see, garnering perhaps more revenues and profits of?
Absolutely. I mean, and we've been doing this for a while now. We did the
Yeah.
BTS concert in the past for 2 days only, which was a sellout. Then most recently, we did the Taylor Swift Eras
Yeah.
concert, Eras tour over last weekend, and it's come back again this weekend. And I was absolutely surprised. I'm not the demographic at all, but
Wow.
or the target audience, but I was absolutely amazed at the kind of response we got from the so-called Swifties, and I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. And I mean, the kids just loved it. I mean, they actually went to cinemas across the country, and having played the concert in a lot of these cities around the country, we're also getting feedback from smaller places like Guntur and Kota and Gorakhpur to actually screen this concert there. So I had no idea that, there's such a huge fan following. We're also going to be doing a Beyonce concert later on in the year.
Okay.
And we've also got a full lineup of Japanese films now, Japanese
Wow.
anime films. We released Suzume back in May, which did about 10 crore business, which is unheard of for a Japanese anime film. So we're a content showing exhibition company, and for us, more the merrier. And I think it's exciting to have varied content available to us, so we can actually provide this varied content to the consumers on the big screen.
Excellent, sir. And very, very exciting times then this actually points out too, because you're not only experimenting with, the food and beverage space and the way people, view movies at the theatres, but also with the variety of content that you are now coming out with. The Beyonce concert already looks exciting, and you're talking about the Japanese films. So tell us, going forward from here, we've only largely seen in India Bollywood movies, to an extent, perhaps the South Indian movies doing very well in the North Indian region as well, which you have always been exhibiting, extending to the English movies as well. But when we talk about more countries and the content coming in from there, how do you see the trajectory going forward over the next few years? Are we going to see more languages, more countries' content also flowing into India now?
Oh, absolutely. But as you said rightly, of course, the bulk of the business will still come from Indian cinema. And when
Yeah,
I say Indian cinema, it's Hindi, regional South,
sure.
Marathi, Punjabi, and you always have months and times when one language does better than the other. So there'll be South Indian films that will do better than Hindi, or Punjabi movies suddenly overtake, or Marathi movies overtake. So 98% of the business comes from Indian films and
Okay.
English films. But of course, as a company, we are very, very keen to keep exploring other languages as well. We've done that in the past also with Korean films. There's a huge expat population in India, uh, with Spanish films, with French films. They don't move the needle as much. Of course, we still need our Gadars and Jawans to fill up the cinemas. But it's always nice to give variety to the consumers, because these
Yeah,
days live in such a small world, and because of our access to social media, everyone is aware of what's going around
sure.
all the industries around the world. And for us, it's very important. Social listening is very important for us. So that's where we
Absolutely.
actually pick up our ideas from, because we actually get all this feedback from the consumers. And the demand for anime films was something that we picked up from social listening, when our consumers wanted to watch these films, and we ended up getting them to India.
All right. Then tell us about your expansion plans, sir, with respect to increasing your screens, adding your screens over the next part of a few months for this calendar year and for the large part of the fiscal year as well. Where all are you looking to expand your presence, and also are you going to be going further down south as well?
Yes, I mean, our growth strategy is pretty much consistent to what we wanted to achieve from the very beginning. It's a mixed bag. We've opened about 68 screens so far, and we're looking at opening about 80 to 90 screens more in the next 2 quarters.
Oh,
We have a mixed bag of tier one and tier two cities. We are looking at opening new complexes in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai as well, which are established markets. But in these markets also, there are pockets where multiplexes don't exist. We're also looking at expanding into tier two cities like Ahmedabad and Surat, also Bhubaneswar. In down south, as you mentioned, we're also getting opportunities and opening up in places like Cuddalore, Machilipatnam, Coimbatore. And it's exciting because these are the smaller places, tier three cities, where there are no multiplexes or there are no established organized retail developments, and they have such a huge opportunity. And we're very excited to actually provide our product in these places. So really, it's all over the country. Wherever there is a gap in the market is where we're seeing the scope for expansion.
wonderful, sir. Well, great speaking to you, and many thanks for sharing all these wonderful insights on the demand outlook going forward, your expansion plans, the kind of content that one can really look forward to as well. Exciting conversation there, and hoping for many more to come in the weeks and months to follow as well. All the very best to you, sir, at your company, and here's wishing you a very happy Diwali once again from the entire team of Business Today Television.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. Happy Diwali to you too.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, and with that, we will wrap up this special conversation. But do stay tuned on to Business Today TV as conversations follow from the world of business and stock markets on your screens.
साथियों, एक तरफ भाजपा का संकल्प पत्र है